Hey guys, Scott from Aristocob.com here.
And Seth Markwood here.
And together, the three of us, we are Markwood Men's Breakfast Club. Welcome back once again. Good morning, boys.
Good morning, Homer.
We are about to smoke some, I think it says Poochie's Blend. It's handwritten. It's from Milan Tobacconist in Roanoke, Virginia. Don't even get started. This is a tobacco that was sent to us by Jeremy Bloom for inclusion in Tobacco Advent 2015. I'm not sure if we got around to smoking this one. But thank you, Jeremy. We appreciate you sending it on.
I think enough time has passed that our feud with Roanoke has subsided a bit.
We need to go up there. Road trip.
But now you're just asking for it. You mean to drive through?
So let's see, where am I this week?
I hear it's a beautiful place this time of year to drive through.
Yes. Where am I this week? This week I am in the Los Angeles area.
Hey, congratulations. Los Angeles is lucky to have you.
Honestly, I'm in Hermosa Beach. I think that sounds about right. Kind of in the Torrance area.
I don't know where that is, but
south of LA, right on the beach.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, I want to say that I'm near Manhattan Beach and Redondo Beach. Pretty much think of any beach that was mentioned in a Beach Boy song, like Surfing USA. I'm there this week.
We listened to some Beach Boys earlier this week.
That's good for you.
Acoustic.
Acoustic or acapella?
Yes to both.
Okay.
Yes to both. You can find on YouTube, as I know you know, a handful of bands where they've stripped out the instrumentals. Beach Boys, one of my favorites on there because their vocals are just awesome. Standalone. It's weird, all of those instrumental interludes, to have just silence.
The song God Only Knows, done with just hearing the audio. When they get to that break where they're singing the do-do-do-do-do-do. Anyway, fantastic.
Yeah.
That and the one that I was really surprised is listening to. It's a good story, Scott. Gosh, what is the song? Good Vibrations. Hearing Good Vibrations, because that was one of those ones that they took the tape of the recording and they cut and they spliced and they moved and they recorded in different sessions and different segments.
I think that song they did, I was reading, did like the vocals over 9 days. It took 9 days to get the vocals right.
It took them 6 months to produce that song.
Right.
That was done during the sessions that were supposed to become the Smile album, and which was one of those famous albums that never really got finished. And I purchased about 2 years ago a CD of a remastering that was done using a whole bunch of the original masters. A couple guys took it upon themselves to do this, and they got input from Brian Wilson because they knew that he was never happy with what came out. And it was because he didn't have the tools that we have today with being able to digitize the music. And now you can shorten, you can lengthen, you can, you can echo, you can do all kinds of things digitally that he was trying to do with analog tape. And that's part of what, made him give up on that project, because he couldn't make the sound that he was hearing in his head. He couldn't produce it. Now they can. That's such a great album. And it's available on a 2 CD release. And the second CD is all variations on the songs that actually went to market. So one of my favorite ones on that one, on the second CD, maybe it's even on the first one. You keep talking, I got to get it back in my head.
Spotify is a great resource for that too, because I know that you can listen to that album on Spotify. And Spotify just recently got rights to the Beatles catalog, so you can listen to the Beatles on there. For me, as someone that really enjoys music, it's worth spending $8 a month to have access to all of my music library. I had I had a 100 gig iPod that was full back when those were the only way to transport music around in quantity. And my phone isn't big enough to carry 100 gigs. So I use Spotify and can stream in just about everything that I have or have had at one point in time owned in a music collection. I can stream from there for $8 a month. I can do it from my phone, iPad, computer. It's awesome.
The song that I have a whole new appreciation for is Heroes and Villains. And when that song was released on, I'm guessing the album was probably Endless Summer or something like that. It was one of the first Beach Boy compilation albums that I owned as a kid. You know, because I'm picking up Beach Boy music. I was alive during their first run, but I was a little kid. So by mid 70s, I'm getting on to being a young teenager, and they released that song Endless Summer, or that album Endless Summer, and Heroes and Villains was on that album, and it was such a different song I didn't care for it.
Right.
Right. Well, now I hear that song, and I'm mesmerized by it. It's a great, great tune. A whole nother side note: if you haven't heard this song, go to YouTube right now. Hey, you're on YouTube. Don't go ahead. Okay, open another tab. Search for Weird Al Pancreas. His song Pancreas is an ode to the Beach Boys, and there are, I think I counted one day, there's like 12 different Beach Boy songs that he has emulated segments of in the song Pancreas. It's fantastic. I even left a comment and listed, okay, I'm hearing the following songs. At this point I hear this one, at this point I hear this one. Well, other people have jumped in and said, yes, and at this moment you're hearing this. Yes, that's it. It's so well done. If you haven't seen it, it's fantastic. Anyway, that's awesome that you're listening to those, because they're listening to those stripping away the instrumentals. Those guys are really talented.
Yeah.
They didn't play their own instruments in their more popular later albums, right? The songs got to be too complicated for the band members to play. They could play them live, and they had a few other drummers on stage with Dennis and a few other guitarists on stage that were kind of secondary instrumentalists that were really good.
Yeah.
And really, when you're playing live, people can't hear it anyway.
Yeah.
But in the studio, they use studio musicians, and that stuff is so good. But their vocals are fantastic.
Yeah.
Take that, Ashley Simpson.
Who?
Her 15 minutes ended on Saturday Night Live. Remember that?
Hoedown.
The Hoedown, that's right.
I remember.
So you had an interesting experience here recently.
Yeah, so, and it's a bit funny, the timing of it. I have been listening to a podcast called Entree Leadership. It is a Dave Ramsey podcast. Dave Ramsey wrote a book a handful of years ago called Entree Leadership, a mix of entrepreneurship and leadership, and essentially leadership for small business or new business managers. And so it's got all sorts of really great tips in it, and the podcast also has a lot of great tips in it. And so I was listening to an episode of this, and they had a guest on who has written a book called The $6,000 Egg. And I should know the guy's name, I don't. I apologize for that. But check out the Entree Leadership podcast. If you're going to listen to the Entree Leadership podcast, I recommend the $6,000 Egg episode. That's the title of it. And I also highly, 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 highly recommend the 2 episodes with Donald Miller. And I could talk about that for a long time, but I won't. But go check those out. So this guy's talking about his experience that he had at a local restaurant. He and his wife frequent this restaurant and spend about $500 there a month. So they're there all the time, getting drinks and other things. And he noticed one night that they were having a waffle and egg special, and it inspired him to ask for an egg to be put on his burger. And the waitress said, "Oh, I can't do that." What do you mean you can't do that? He says, "I'm sorry, sir, I can't do that." Okay. You can't is there a reason why? Well, let me get my manager. So the waitress goes and gets her manager. Manager comes over, and the first thing the manager says is,
I hear there's a problem.
I hear there's a problem, right? So automatically,
Don't you love that?
automatically, this guy who's in business is just
He's on the defense.
right. And he said, "Well, I was just asking if I could get a burger with an egg, a fried egg on it." And the manager says, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir, I can't do that." What do you mean? What do you mean you can't do that? He said, "Don't you have eggs?" "Well, yes, sir." "So why can't you put one on my burger?" "Well, the eggs that we have are earmarked for the egg and waffle special. So we have a certain number of eggs and a certain number of waffles, and I can't put one on your burger." And he said,
The least expensive protein in the whole wide world is an egg. They're going to make their customer happy with a 10-cent egg.
so he says, "My wife and I come here all the time. You know, we're spending $500 a month here, and you're telling me you can't justify putting a 25-cent egg on my burger. Sorry, sir, no. But I'll tell you what I can do for you tonight. I can go ahead and comp your meal." and the guy laughs in her face, because at this point he and his wife have already had appetizers, they've already had drinks, and so he looks at the ticket and it's already $75. And he says, "That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You're going to pay $25. You're going to pay $75 meal to a customer that at this point I hope you have a good inclination is not coming back because of this service experience. Someone who has told you that they're a good customer of yours because you're not willing to give up a 25-cent egg. Well, I'm sorry, sir, that's the best that I can do." I said, "Great, that's absurd." So he leaves the restaurant, and he said he steps out, and he and his wife look, and 100 feet away is a Whole Foods. 100 feet away. So they go. He said, out of curiosity, he and his wife walk over to the Whole Foods and go into their egg section and look and calculate 35 cents for an egg.
All right, so that's a free range.
Right. So yeah, it's a Whole Foods egg. But 100 feet away from this restaurant is a grocery store where if they ran out of eggs, they could have gone to get their egg to keep their customer happy. Instead, she just comped $75 ticket to a customer that's not coming back. And so he goes into this whole spiel about, how he had a really good customer service experience there. And
Now Whole Foods has a restaurant.
right. So he went to the Whole Foods restaurant and asked them if they could put an egg on a burger, and she said, "Absolutely, yes." He says, "Well, now why?" He said, "Do you have to ask your manager or anything?" She says, "No." "Well, why is that?" She said, our management and our company's owner teaches us to say yes to a customer's request. When a customer has something that they've requested, if it is reasonable for us to accommodate them, the answer is yes. Yes, we can do that. And then we figure out how to make it happen. And so he said, "Well, I would like that." And his wife, to really kind of put them to the test, asked for a pizza with garlic and anchovies and an egg on top, a fried egg on top. And she said, "Okay." And she came back a minute later and said the pizza's in the oven. And then a little bit later, the chef comes out and says, we've been debating the best way to prepare the egg. Do you want the egg on top of the pizza to be cut with the pizza, or do you want the egg cut beforehand and then placed on the pizza as a topping?" And so, the guy points out.
Wow.
The guy points out that when you say yes to your customers and offer them exceptional customer service, not only do you make your customer happy, but you get an opportunity to stretch your creativity a little bit. And so he tells several stories about people that have gone above and beyond. He said what this company didn't know is that their customer had a platform where he was going to reach a much broader audience. Mm-hmm. So it's not just a $6,000 egg, and he calls it that because they lost $6,000 in business that year.
Per year.
Because of one egg. And that's just from he and his wife. Not to mention the other people that won't go to that store as well. And so I had a similar experience on the day before tax day. This year was a Sunday, April 17th. I am a procrastinator, and so waited to do my taxes until then. And I was doing them through H&R Block's program and through their digital online service. Mom had purchased multiple additions to go through the system so that she could file several times. And in the past,
several times.
Yeah, so up to 5 different filings, and so you can basically share your code with your family.
Oh,
so
okay, I see.
so Dana was able to file with that without having to pay multiple times. Basically, she just bought several access codes.
Yeah, I got it.
So I go to file my taxes, and she had bought the premium service. So there's no option to just download or to put in an access code. So I start my taxes with the premium option, thinking, okay, there's going to be some sort of access code asked at the end of your taxes. So I go through the whole process of putting all of my information in. I get to the end, and there's still no place for me to put the access code in.
Well, there is a place for your charge card, I bet.
Right, there is. So doing a little bit of research, basically I'm screwed. There's no option for me to put this access code in. And H&R Block, in their wonderful wisdom, makes it so that once you start your taxes under any of their plans, you're locked into that. So there's no way to downgrade to a basic plan.
Oh.
Well, the premium plan that I only signed up for and only did because I had this access code that I can't use is an $80 plan plus $35 state. So $115 out the door. Plus, if you want to pay for your tax prep with your taxes, it's another $35. So it's $150 to file my taxes is what it was going to be. So I'm like, well, this is stupid. So after doing a little bit more research, I discovered that there is a way to downgrade the plan. And here's what it involves. You have to talk to H&R Block's customer service. And they can downgrade your plan for you. And then it wipes your plan. It wipes everything you put in your taxes, so you have to start all over.
Oh, gosh.
But the difference in the plan is $80 versus $20. So a $60 difference. It was worth another hour of my time putting the stuff in. Like, this stinks. This is stupid. This is bad design. And it's smart design from their side because it's all designed to lock you in and make it time prohibitive and discourage you from spending your time to go back and fix it and make it right. So instead, you'll just pay them an extra $60. But I didn't want to do that. So at 8 o'clock Sunday night, the night before taxes are due, I get into their online customer service chat. And so at this point, I explain this to my technicians the next day. I'm using this as a customer service exercise to point out some things that things that they should be aware of, right? Conventional wisdom would say, you idiot, you should have done your taxes the day before they're due, you're getting what you deserve, right? And I won't disagree with that from logical position, but from a customer point of view, that's irrelevant.
Right.
I'm still within the window, and I'm having to put up with difficulty that I don't feel I should. And so, and it doesn't feel any better, right? So I get into this online queue, and they say, hey, you're number 90 in the queue. The average wait time is 30 minutes, and your expected wait time is 28 minutes. Like, okay, I can deal with that. They probably have a lot of people working because it's the day before tax day. And so I'm like, yeah, it's cool. I eat my dinner at that point because I put it off. I was trying to get everything done.
You got them on speaker, right?
I am online, so I'm not even
online.
on the phone.
Okay.
Because you can apparently do this over chat. 2.5 hours later, I'm number 40 in the queue, and
wow.
They have stopped predicting the amount of time because when I was number 60, it went down to an estimated wait time of 2 minutes, and then that disappeared, and then it went up to 12 minutes, and then it came down, and back and forth, back and forth. Also, my number in the queue kept going from 40 to 39 to 38, back up to 41. And so it was so frustrating that eventually I found a workaround. I found a coupon for half off the cost, saved me $40. It ended up costing me $80 total. So I was as happy as I was going to be to not have to, because at that point it's 11 o'clock. And I'm going to have to, once I get all this done, I'm then going to have to go through and do my taxes all over again.
Sure.
So it was just a nightmare. And the frustration that I felt. Frustration I felt wasn't that there was such a long wait. It was that I was told I was going to have a half-hour wait, and 2.5 hours later, still wasn't seen. It was the miscommunication. If they had said it's going to be a 5-hour wait, I would have said okay. I would, or at that point, I would have been informed enough
Make
to
a
say,
different decision. Yeah.
I would have been informed enough to say, well, screw that. I'm just going to go ahead and pay it.
Right.
But they didn't do that. It was an unkept promise, and that is frustrating as a customer service side. Now that reminded me of the time that I was told at Burger King that I couldn't have a Angry Whopper made a double Angry Whopper. and have I told you that
Did
story?
that make you angry?
It did. Have I told you that story?
I don't know, but hand my drink, will you?
It happened to me twice. It happened to me twice. They told me that sorry sir, we can't do that. I looked at them like they were the dumbest thing in the world. I said, what do you mean you can't do it? Well, there's no way that I can make your Whopper a double Whopper. I said, you do it all the time.
It's on the menu.
You do it all the time. Right, well, we can't do that for the Angry Whopper. It's a promotional Whopper, and we can't make that a double. I said, okay, do you have the ability to add a patty? Is there an add a patty button? Well, yes, sir, there is. Then can you add a patty and then put it on the burger? Well, I don't know. I'm going to have to ask my manager. Manager comes over. The manager, at the first time this happened, the manager says that they can't do it. I said, look, sell me. I said, can you, if I came in here and all I wanted was just a patty, could you sell that to me? Well, yes, sir. How much is that? 40 cents. Great. Sell me a patty. And then I would also like a single Angry Whopper, please. And put the patty on the side, and I will assemble it myself.
Oh, if you're going to do that, sir, we can't permit that.
Yeah. Thankfully, that when it happened a second time, it happened at a different Burger King in a different town. The cashier said, well, I can't do that. And the manager was close enough. He said, he kind of intervened and said, well, I'll make it happen. He said, there's something stupid with our computers.
Can't have it your way, Burger King.
No, apparently not.
Wow.
What a dumb experience.
That's frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
And as you mentioned at the beginning of this, so foolish for a company to not be able to provide something that they actually can provide.
Right.
If it's not against the law, right? And it's something that they could physically do, adding a patty, right? That doesn't make any sense at all. I know that oftentimes you're working with somebody who maybe they're new, maybe they really don't care about their job, right? Those folks don't think out of the box. But you're supposed to have it your way at Burger King.
Well, and surprisingly, we run into that a lot in our business because we get a lot of customers that they will ask for work to be done that is related to their plumbing. That's not work that we do. So we don't install granite countertops. We'll install the sink that's in the granite countertop, but not the granite countertop.
Sure.
We don't have the tools to cut the holes and all those other things. So if a customer asks,
take that for granted, though.
If a customer asks, hey, can you work me up a quote to replace my countertop, my kitchen, or my bathroom with a granite countertop, and I'd like a new sink? I've been working on getting my guys to tell the customer yes, and then subcontracting that to
somebody who you can trust.
Someone that can. Instead of telling them no, or even little things like if someone calls in outside of our service area and they want to know if there's a reputable plumber that we would recommend. A lot of businesses would be close-fisted and say, nope, you don't want to encourage a competition. They're not your competition if they're in a different region than you.
Right.
And if you are making a contact with your customer, let's say you go into that region and they say, hey, so-and-so plumbing's out here now, then they might give you consideration because they will remember how you treated them.
That's right.
They'll remember how you made them feel. So, this is stupid. I'm glad taxes are done. Did you get yours done?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. We get our taxes done ridiculously early. As soon as we get the paperwork from my employer, we start the process because on our website is linked, all of our payments are linked through PayPal. PayPal has fantastic record keeping and give us everything that we need to claim that income. Yeah, works really, really well for us. We've been doing that for years. No complaints at all.
Awesome.
And apparently we buy lots of extra H&R Block
Codes.
yeah.
There wouldn't be so many extra if we could actually use them.
I mean, and I'll admit up front, the fact that I'm out of the loop on this, Jandy, my bride, she takes care of all this. She's done book work and accounting, and she worked at a credit union, and she's good with math. I am dyslexic. I'm the wrong guy to look at a number on a document and then transfer that number somewhere. Can't do it. It gets all screwed up. So she is really good at getting all that done.
Yeah. What do you think of the tobacco?
Well, it's good. It's good. I've smoked this before. It's I don't want to say it any greater than that. It's good. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you for sending this along. If we didn't thank you before, again, if we didn't get around to smoking this before, I like it.
And this is probably just the group think talking, but I like the cob.
I do too. I do too.
It's good.
It's small, kind of like a nose warmer. Here, compare that in size to the nose warmer. The nose warmer is roughly the same length. All right, but as far as capacity, that has the same capacity. Well, it has a greater capacity than this one.
Does it really?
It sure does.
Wow.
It begins with the size bowl as the Fifth Avenue, or what we call the Colonel. I mean, it's for a little pipe. It's a big pipe.
Yeah.
So
I like it.
I do too. Jason Dagner, excellent job on the design of that, and Missouri Meerschaum, good job on the production of that. They made hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of those for us for the launch, and
they're all gone.
Jason and I sold out and had to reorder, and sold out and had to reorder, and yeah, it's been a wonderful launch. And if we hadn't mentioned this before, and maybe this isn't the place for it, this is now an official pipe in the line. It's not a limited edition. You don't have to rush out and buy it right now. Okay, if you want to wait for other folks to give feedback on it, but if it appeals to you, it'll be available from here on in.
Cool.
Which makes me happy. All right, so let's wrap this up, guys. Make it a great week. Tell us about your customer service stories below in the comments.
Thanks for watching. See you guys later.